Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie here at Eden Street Soap Company. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the little bell and you'll be notified every time I put out a new video. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I appreciate you greatly. And you and everyone else who views and comes back are the backbone of this channel. And I really appreciate it, and I do it for you guys. So if you would like to become a member of our Soapy family, hit that subscribe button and you'll see all the new videos I put out. I also answer comments if you have questions or ideas about future videos. And if you like what you see, please leave a thumbs up. It really helps me and the algorithm out. Thanks so much. So while we're doing the Lye Solution, we do 6 ounces of distilled water. I pre-freeze mine so I can add some distilled ice cubes in there as well. And then 1 ounce of frozen coconut milk. I use the natural kind without the polysorbate 60. And then 3.6 ounces of sodium hydroxide lye. This recipe actually calls for more water, but we're doing a water discount because whenever you're using fresh fruits or vegetables or whatever, there's water inside of it. So we've got to account that into our recipe. All right, and then we are also going to add 1 teaspoon of sodium lactate. This is totally optional, but when you're using a Pringles can as a soap mold, I prefer to have an easier time unmolding it, and then I can take it out after 12 hours instead of waiting 3 days. All right, so we added in our diced cucumber, and I left the skins on because I like the way the little speckles look in the shave bar, but that's totally optional as well. And you're going to add your cucumber along with ½ ounce of distilled water, and I use my stick blender to reach the puree. And if you have a different method, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're doing with your shave bar. So if you haven't reached the puree that you would like, you can always add in ½ ounce of melted coconut oil, and that will help lubricate the blades, and that'll really get your puree to a fine consistency. So we're going to add our pureed cucumber into the remaining coconut oil, which the original amount is 7.2 ounces. And then we are going to add in 7.4 ounces. I use a pure olive oil. And then we will go ahead and add in 1.75 ounces of avocado oil. I love avocado oil and olive oil. It is so good for the skin, and it really helps the shave bar glide over your skin smoothly. Then we are going to add 5.5 ounces of palm oil. I use a sustainable palm, and you can pre-melt that or add everything in and melt it at the end. Then we're going to add 1.8 ounces of castor oil. This not only helps with moisture, but it also adds bubbliness to your soap. And then we're going to add in 1.3 ounces of mango butter. Oh, mango butter is amazing. And if you're gonna add the mango butter, some people recommend melting everything first and then adding the mango butter. I think we're adding such a small amount, it really shouldn't matter. And then finally, we're gonna add in 0.1 ounces of palm kernel flakes, and that's the recipe. So let's get this all melted, and we'll come back and mix it up to get a nice smooth consistency. Once everything was melted, I took my stick blender and I ended up mixing everything up. and it's going to resemble a green smoothie, but there's no pressure yet because we haven't added in our lye solution or our scent solution. And just FYI, if you haven't prepped your scent solution, I make mine by taking half an ounce of distilled water, putting it in a beaker and heating it in the microwave for 10 seconds, 15 seconds max. Then I add in 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar, which is totally optional, but I find it helps force gel phase and it makes your soap bubblier, which is really nice when you're making a shave bar. And then I add in my cowling clay and mix it up really good and let that sit. And once it cools down to about room temperature, then I add in my half an ounce of essential oil, which I used lemongrass. Remember, you don't want to add in your essential oil or scented oil until the temperature is cooled down, or else it'll burn it off and then you just wasted your scent. The 1 teaspoon of mica, you can either add it right into the sugar solution, or you can save that and mix it with some oil and add it in later. I only used one color because I went for the natural soap color and then just kind of added a little color to give a nice blend later. All right, so our oils are mixed with our lye solution along with our scent solution, and then we've already run the immersion blender, and we're gonna pour this at a thin trace. And once we get this in here, we're gonna pour it into our Pringles can. And if you haven't already learned how to prep your Pringles can, I have a video on that. I'll put a link in the description along with some other affiliate links if you're interested. And I also took a little bit of this soap batter and I mixed it with a teaspoon of teal mica just so I could add some color to it. In retrospect, I think I would have added a little more color to the whole batch, because it's nice having a natural shave bar, but I like having more control over the color. Anyway, so once everything's poured in here, I used a hanger swirl tool to give it a nice rustic swirl, but you could also use a dowel rod. That's fine as well. So as I poured it in the Pringle can, I had a little bit extra soap batter, which would be able to fill up an extra large Pringles can, but I decided to add it into my next soap, which is the watermelon soap, and I'm going to give you a little preview here. It is so nice, and give me a thumbs up if you would like to see a tutorial, because I plan on having that come out next. It's just so cute, and I love the little point on top. So the last thing I want to discuss is I put the soap in the mold and I left it for a minimum of 12 hours. It might have been a couple hours longer. But as you can see with the mold, it kind of squished in, creating this weird design on the shave bar, which doesn't matter for the aesthetic, but I want to explain why. So earlier I mentioned that soap may volcano or it may just poof out, and this one was very mild, and it was because I added 2 teaspoons of sugar. Now, normally in soap that doesn't matter, but I didn't account for the vegetables having their own sugar. I counted for the coconut milk I added, but whenever you add fresh ingredients, they have water and sugar and you have to account for them. So my soap got really, really hot and it poofed out at the top and squeezed inward, so it kind of imploded on itself. But it was so minimal that it really didn't matter on my end, but that's why I suggested you use 1 teaspoon of sugar or no sugar at all. All right, let's cut this soap. I'm really excited. All right, so we cut the soap and the soap turned out great. It's a shave bar, but it's also soap at the same time. It's a shave bar because it's easy to hold in your hand. It creates lots of lather and nice foamy bubbles, and it moisturizes as you put it on. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing how it turned out at the end, I have pictures on Instagram. And if you're interested in seeing my next video, the watermelon soap, which I am so excited about, they turned out really good. Subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. I love to hear from everyone. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to sharing my next soap with you. Bye, everybody.